Yeah, we breaking silence on the Lord, oh. So why you think we out here on the Lord for? Yeah, I'm coming through, Ja, ja, ja. Coming through, I'm coming through. Yeah, I wear the truth like a logo. So why you think I'm out here on my dolo? Yeah, I'm coming through, Ja, ja, ja. Coming through, I'm coming through.
Yo, once again, it's the We Break Silence Show. Charles, Pamela, Rosario, Cash Walk, and Vanya.
That's a lot of names.
Yeah, everybody here.
Like you just went rambling on. No? Okay, sorry.
Word, Pam. We gonna start this now? Season 6?
I ain't do nothing.
All right. We got 2 special guests in the building.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I need you to turn her mic up, though.
Yeah.
Freaking Pam distracted me. Yes, that was all you. Yes, that was you.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was you. And you got the crying thing. I got my cousin, Marjorie. And we got the homie, Jasson, a.k.a. Mr. Rice and Beans.
What's going on, guys?
You like that Spanish rice?
Arroz y frijoles.
Yo, speak my rice and beans, bro. My bad. First time I tried it was like 2 months ago.
I remember when you came back.
You should be ashamed of
And
yourself.
you've been out for what, like 2 years now? 3 years?
Yeah.
2 years,
2
yeah.
years.
2 years.
2 years, yep.
Killing it,
That's
too.
my bad.
Yo, I
was-
work in Berkshire Corporate Park at Duracell. You were the talk of every
Talk of
Thursday.
Even Bowringer.
Thursdays.
At Bowringer,
yeah,
too.
we used to
Because
go out a lot.
Thursdays is when you used to go out there, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you see people just flooding out of the building.
Flooding out of the building.
Flooding out of the building.
Literally.
They're like, yo, you want? People asking me, I'm at the desk, like, yo, you want rice and beans? I'm like, yeah, if you buy it.
That guac, yo. That guac.
That's what's up, man.
That's so funny. He would literally be cooking, and I would see the people come. I'm like, they're coming, Jay. They're coming. They're coming.
Like a herd of people.
So how did rice and beans start? Was that always like a thing that you always want to have a food truck? How did I'm jumping the gun. I know this is you, Vani.
Go for it.
I just want to know. Like I've always wanted to ask you this question. Like how did you start? Like what made you want?
How did Rice and Beans start? Well, I worked in restaurants all through college, and then after I graduated, I decided this was gonna be what I was gonna do. So while I was working, I started off working at a Mazzone. You guys know Mill Plain Road. So I fell in love. Obviously, I'm Hispanic background, and that was they did a lot of Latin American tapas or whatever. So I always wanted to have like a taco spot, right? But so the food truck was definitely the right avenue to go into to baby steps into that. You know what I'm saying? But actually, the girl I was dating, her father one time brought it up. He was like, "Oh," because we was bartending down in Stanford, and her dad was like, "Hey, why don't you guys sell rice and beans like on the side of the street after we all get out of the bars and whatnot?" So that was the first time that
Brilliant idea.
And it was like, he's like, "You guys should just name it Rice and Beans," and I was like, "You're right."
You stuck with it.
It stuck with
So
it. I was
simple.
like, that's literally that's all it takes.
Word.
The rest is
Yep.
history.
That's what's up, man.
What made you pick yellow? Because that's like a very distinct color. Like,
Yeah, that's why.
Is that why?
You notice it. You notice that truck anywhere.
Yeah, no, you
in
do.
a line
Absolutely.
of 11
And I was
food trucks,
like-
you find that one.
So a lot of things, with everything, just a lot of brands you see, nothing is done intentionally. Things just happen by accident, right? So I contacted a branding company, and they were like, I wanted it to be black, and they were like, nah, just keep it yellow, because I bought the trailer and it was originally yellow. So what you see is stickers or decals placed on what the trailer already was, which was yellow. And I was like, oh, yellow, I don't really like it. So originally I was so against it, because I was like, I don't want to be driving around with this yellow trailer.
That's why I asked, what made you pick
looking
yellow?
Yeah, and looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it now I love it. I drive around with that bright yellow van, you know what I'm
Everybody
saying? So
knows.
yeah.
It's a signature now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's like if I open up a spot, it's gonna be bright yellow, yellow and white, clean. So and yellow, that color makes you happy.
Is that something that you want to do in the future? You want to go like brick and mortar, like
for sure.
stationary, like restaurant? Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's
same type of thing.
Or
same idea?
Expand the menu, fast casual. Simple and delicious.
Nice.
Very basic.
That's the way I would describe what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Simple and delicious.
And I like the scene you bring with it, with like the flowers, with
Word.
the plants
Yeah.
and everything.
And
Like,
the
it feels
chairs and the
exclusive.
tables.
That's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
That's different.
It all matters. You know what I'm saying? When
Word.
you go into a place,
Details.
the details
Yeah.
matter. If it looks clean, it reflects on the food.
It's the experience.
And people are
And,
kind of low maintenance now too. Like
Yeah, they are.
that's kind of in right now. Where just like the small things, around and surrounding what you're doing just make such a big difference.
Word.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about. Sorry, I can't see you because all these mics
it's
is
all
in
good.
the way.
It's all good.
But the process of just even starting, like, is it as? Because I would assume that people think, oh, you just buy a truck and start cooking. Like, how complex or how difficult was it just to get started?
So I'm gonna try to tell you as fast as I can, because literally, there's a million different roads to get to the same destination, and that's with everything, right? So I just tell people, not to overthink things or whatever. I'm the type of person that just jumps into things. Sometimes that might be good, sometimes not. That might be bad. But in this situation, it worked out, right? So again, like a week after whatever Rice and Beans was said, I went and started looking for a trailer or whatever, and then literally it was a month right after that I bought the trailer. Again, with only the name in mind, that's it. As far as like the menu, all that stuff, I had no idea. And then that was day one, and then you start from there, and then it took about 8 months to get it going or whatever. But you start to, it's just like anything else. You're going to school. You pay X amount, you pay thousands of dollars to go to school. Why not pay thousands of dollars to learn something in a small business? You know what I'm saying?
Invest in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same exact thing. So, and yeah, it worked out. And it was a growing process. First came the trailer, then came the van, then came the chairs, then came, you know what I'm saying? So it's just little by little, and then that's what people see now. So
and came his star employee.
Hey, talk to her. So have you been rocking with him from the beginning?
No, not from the beginning. So I actually met Jasson at Maison. I actually ended up working at the same restaurant he worked at, and he would come in extra late. The bar's about to close. He would roll in extra late with his friends. Oh, y'all closing? Y'all closing up? I'm like, no, we're not closing up.
Right.
Well, I guess we're not now.
I guess we're not now.
You used to make that sangria was blazing.
Delicious. It's still good. It's so good there.
Appreciate you.
So I ended up meeting him there. He gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. He sold me a dream, and I was like, why not? Let's try it. So,
and you guys work well together. It's
I think so.
Yeah.
So how many people is it all together?
Oh God.
35.
No.
It can get up to 5. Sometimes it's 5
Okay.
of us, but for the most part, it's 4 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's food trucks. You have to do a lot of volume in a small amount of time.
Right,
That
exactly,
requires a lot of people. So that's just.
And you're everywhere, right? You're not just in the Stanbury area.
No, we do. We try to do a lot of private events. We go, like you guys were talking about, Boring or Cardis. We do a lot of that during the summertime, and also the weekends we save for like festivals, and that helps us get our name out there and get the word out. So
that's what's up.
How do you do in the winter months?
We close,
Oh,
in the winter. So we push it out to about November. Reopen up in May, but during the winter it's just like that's when you start to get the ideas, when you have a sec to use some
Yeah, that's so crazy. Dang, I was gonna ask something and then I forgot. This happens like more than it should. I was gonna ask something before you mentioned the winter time. And I forgot.
I think I know what it was. Was it y'all got sour cream?
Oh my God.
That's the question.
I was gonna ask. So talk a little bit about just how it's been pushing on social media, because I feel like you guys are good, like on your Instagram, like it looks great. So how is it like pushing on social media, and how important is that for you and your brand?
For food trucks, social media is everything.
Everything,
people want to
right?
know where you are. You know what I'm saying? It tells a story, and you can translate anything through it, and it's free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they helped us. That's the basis of like the business model. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's push social media. And even though sometimes like it seems like it's annoying to be posting a couple times a day, but
He was throwing shade at me.
you just gotta,
He was throwing shade at me.
no, you just you got to do that, because people their attention span is like 0.00
Yes.
It is.
whatever
Yes.
seconds, so
Yeah.
they might miss the first post, so you do it again, and then you post it on the story. It's like, where were you? Some people are lazy; they don't even click on the location. Like,
They don't.
It takes you.
They don't
It
read.
takes you. Yeah, they don't read. They're
No.
like, you were there. I was like, yeah, literally.
They don't read. The menu will be right there.
yeah.
It will be right there.
Then you're like, yo, what are you guys selling?
What are you selling? Yo, how
What
much
do
is
you
that? How
sell?
much
So
is that?
the rice. Do you guys have white rice?
Oh my God.
Y'all don't have white rice. And it's cool. Like, we have no problem. I guess centered. We love when you're in the restaurant industry, that's what you do. You love people. If you don't do it. You know.
It makes you laugh at times like this when you're explaining it to other people, like what it's like. You're
exactly.
like, bro, it's right there.
But if there's a line down the block,
hurry up.
Yeah, you gotta read. There's a line down the
Bro,
block.
read the menu. We were standing 3 people back, close enough to read this for how long? I seen you looking right at it, I seen you.
So Marjorie, how different is it like working the food truck and in the restaurant? Like, what are some things that you like, don't like about each?
So the restaurant is nice, right? So you get your regulars. I've met a lot of amazing people through the restaurant. I went to a wedding. The first wedding I went to was a couple at the bar.
Wow.
And literally, they sat down and I was like, how'd you guys meet? They told me their love story. And I was like, I've never been to a wedding. And they were like, oh, we'll send you an invitation. I was like, okay.
What? And they really did.
And I got to work and there was an invitation.
Wow.
They were like, I was all up in their wedding video. All up in it. So
that's what's up.
the people you meet,
that's cool.
Amazing. The opportunities you get, amazing.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just be somewhere different every day. You know, it's just refreshing to where we at today, and you get to meet new people that way too. And you know, like how excited people get when they have it for the first time, and you see them get the bowl, and it's like it's an experience every day. You know, versus you kind of get used to the rhythm of a restaurant. You know,
so you know what to expect.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
All
that's
right.
awesome.
Let's talk about your show, Marge.
The
Marjorie Show.
The
First
Marjorie
of all,
Show.
where did the idea come from? You were my cousin. I knew you since you was small. You were like shy, not shy, but like
that's
you know
funny
what I'm
that
saying?
you say that.
But now you got like your own show. Like this is dope. It's very inspiring. Like how did it come about?
It's kind of crazy, right? So working on the truck with Jay and watching him do what he does day in and day out is very, very inspiring. You can't not look at him and be like, wow, that's
wow.
I should be doing something else. You know, like the truck is cool and everything. I like it. You're cool, but I should be doing something else. And for a very long time, I just talked my friends to death. And they're like, you know what? You should get a podcast. And I'm like, you know.
Everybody's doing that.
Everybody's doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want a podcast. And like, no, but you know, you should talk to somebody else because we're tired of hearing you talk, you know? So for a while, it's just kind of an idea that kind of floats, and you kind of go through all the things in life that you don't want to do. You know, like I don't want to be at a 9 to 5.
Right.
Love you, Jay, but I don't want to boss. I don't want to boss. You know what I mean? Like
Totally preaching to the choir.
I want to be able to. I don't want to be in a business. You know, I think a lot of people are always like, I want to be a business owner. I don't want to be tied to a building. Like I was like, what can I market? And I was like, Marjorie.
Hey.
I was like, I could just market myself. Right? So the thing for me though is also I was getting real sick of seeing like stuff on Instagram that was just mindless. You know what I mean? Like you end up scrolling for so long and you're like, what did I just look at? You know what I mean? I didn't find anything that I could take away. I didn't find anything that was of value.
You just killed 5 minutes.
I just wasted my life. You know?
30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Like
where? 5 minutes, I wish.
like hours go by.
Yeah, I turn on my screen time, forget about it. Like I'm over it.
That's the worst feature ever, by the way. Take that away right now.
Ever.
I don't want to know that.
I don't.
I'll go back to the times I didn't know how long I was on my phone.
Exactly.
And stop texting it to me. I didn't ask you.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, maybe I should just start a conscious content-based page, you know? And YouTube, anytime you say you want to put something on YouTube, it always sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme, you know? So it almost sounds like you just want to a shot to stardom, you know, and that's not what it was for me, you know. I feel like if that's what you're chasing, then you're going to end up in the wrong spot, you know. You're going to end up hating what you do, but my whole goal is to help people through conversation, so
I like that.
so that's where it started.
That's it.
Exciting.
Now I
had the pleasure
of participating in said show, and boy oh boy was it that. It was like you know, open forum, people aren't screaming over each other or anything like that, but it was like you were very good at kind of guiding us through that whole thing. And what was the original time limit that we were supposed to be on?
Oh my god, we were only supposed to be there for an hour and a half.
We were there for like 4 hours.
By the time I went to go edit that video, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is 3 hours.
3 hours.
This is 3 hours, you know.
Because we were really
Are you going to use all 3 or are you going to cut it down?
I think I'm going to chop it up into episodes because I feel like there's gems in there, you know. You even said a couple things that I was like, I felt that. I
appreciate you. I did drop some heat that night, though.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you did.
That was fun.
It was a really fun time, though.
Yeah, Jason was there.
Yeah, Jason was there as well, and a few other people that you will recognize when you see it. But it was just a lot of fun. It was very refreshing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like I knew it was going to be something cool. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I thought it was going to be just like a yell back and forth fest.
No, I feel like that's the problem. You know, like even like now is you can't have a conversation with anybody without them being defensive or upset or whatever.
That's so true.
That's so dope.
Initially, and like things in life happen the way they're supposed to, right? So initially it was just supposed to be me interviewing people one-on-one. You know, like I would sit down with a single woman.
Still do that too.
It's episode 1 is about relationships and dating. So I wanted to sit down with, you know, a single woman, a single man, and it just never worked out schedule-wise, you know, and I just couldn't figure out why. I was frustrated with it. I had put out the trailer, I think in June, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I put it out.
But I understand because I do things too, and sometimes they don't fall.
Everybody says yes. Yeah. That's the problem. Is everybody says yes even when it's a no, and it's cool, you know. It's cool.
I get that all the time.
But it's time, you know. It's time. So what ended up happening is I was like, can I get 9 or 10 people to show up on one day? Is that going to be easier for me? So I shot my shot in everybody's DM and. And here they are.
I was like, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Can't wait.
You know, Cash is always going to be down.
I love that stuff.
He can't wait to talk to somebody. He loves talking too. He loves talk. Like, I'm sure. Should have thought about him from day one.
What's the format of the show? Is it like you let everyone know the topic and you kind of like like how does it play out?
These 2 episodes, because I feel like the goal is to just again teach people through conversation. So it's not always going to be a panel. It's not always going to be about feelings per se, you know, like I want to do like how to buy a house, you know. Every time I hear it I'm like, that sounds so complicated. Like when you say buy a house, it seems like that's gonna take a mountain, you
I'm
know.
about to go through that in a couple months.
Exactly. So I want, you know, I want it to be.
Damn, I already asked you my questions.
I know.
Yeah. So the format is going to be, you know, different episode to episode. But this past episode, I let them know what the topic was. I gave them, you know, thought points. I gave them a little alcohol, so that was a little easy. They were all the way up.
So if your sangria is popping, I'm sure.
We were at, shout out to Stanziatos. They let us film there.
They hooked it up.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where we were.
Great food.
That is so dope.
So
I love that concept.
I'm sorry. The schedule of the show. So you gonna release it every week, every month? How's it gonna work?
The goal is definitely every week. You know, again, like people are unpredictable, and that's what I'm relying on as people. You know, again, I'm about 3 weeks out.
Okay.
So
nice.
I'm fortunate right now. So hopefully I stay 3 weeks out, and then it's week to week. But that's the goal for sure.
And you have the special event tomorrow night or Saturday. I will be there to support my cousin.
Be there. Thank you. It's crazy.
Yes,
it's crazy.
talk about that.
Well, I'm gonna talk about you first. Congratulations.
On what?
On this.
Thank you.
Literally, he would come over, be in my brother's room, and they would like Fruity Loop it, you know? And I'd be in the next room, like, what are they doing?
What is that noise
Exactly. So congratulations to you. But that's this Saturday at 6:30. We do have a few seats left. It started off honestly as one of my friends. She was like, you know, we should throw a viewing party here, like. We should get a couple of the girls here and, you know, drink some wine or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool, but I'm extra.
Do it big.
I'm extra. So then I'm on the truck.
Do the most.
But I was on the truck with Jay and Nick, one of our other employees. Or I said our.
You just gave yourself a promotion.
One of his other employees and a good friend. And they were like, you should do a viewing party. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, my friend Brenda had said that. And he was like, no, but like we should do it big. Right. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it real big. You know, so
go all the way with it.
Why not?
Why not?
How many people are you expecting?
Well, so it's held at Hat City Gallery. Standing, he told me about 70 to 80 people comfortably.
That's right,
comfortably. I'm sitting because I want you guys to kind of enjoy the show. I'm expecting 60 people. You know.
So we're playing full episode 1 or
full episode 1.
Nice.
We're gonna chop it up in a couple session, so you guys don't have to sit there and you could stand up, stretch your legs. It's not school, so I want you guys to have fun.
I like it.
Right. Yeah,
I'll be there.
Nice.
That is awesome. I wish I would have known earlier.
Yo, what you mean?
You gotta follow Marjorie, bro.
That's it.
Don't point at me and say it's not mine.
Or Mr. Rice and Beans.
I'm giving away free food that day, guys.
Yeah,
so
it's rice and beans.
Yeah. So now you better get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to figure something out then.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Listen, y'all
Tell your mom, like, I got an emergency.
That's it. It's a free event. There's gonna be food, drinks, giveaways.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
This
Tis the season.
Yeah.
I like this.
Tis the season.
Extra.
Yeah.
You got a whole what?
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Oh, you got the shirt.
So cute. What's hilarious
You got
is
2X?
I'm gonna get you a 2X.
Okay. I'm a big boy.
I'm a small.
I got you. I was walking through the grocery store before we got here, and people were like staring at me. I'm like, what are they looking at? And I just realized it was exactly. I'm like, oh, I look crazy right now.
Love it. Is that like the official logo or?
You know what? I was really just messing with Photoshop the other day, and I was like, oh, she looks cool. She looks good. I like that. I like that.
So do you do your own editing and all
that?
Oh my God, girl, good for you.
I wouldn't say that I'm like don't. I wouldn't. Yeah, no. But I'm familiar with the programs.
That's cool.
Yeah, I take the time to do it.
What do you use, Final Cut Pro?
Right now, I use Final Cut Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to learn Final Cut Pro like 10 times. I
Gave
up on it.
It's
so
because I had.
I
mean, if you're familiar with the Mac iMovie, it kind of follows the same.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's something about the Final Cut Pro I couldn't.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. After I like to see things through. I think that's the thing for me is like to be a creative. You want to where it starts and then where it ends. I think that's the fun part. So.
That's so
amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
I'm really
excited.
This is
so fun. So
Are you executive producer, Rice and Beans?
Nah, man. I'm just concentrating on the food.
Not going on the TV yet.
Right.
We're going to Pimples after, right? Is everybody going to Pimples?
Yeah, that's
there's a toy drive, right? It's a toy drive.
Ugly Sweater Party.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is. The toy drive's gonna be there too, but the Ugly Sweater Party. I announced this earlier.
Shout out to Pete.
The listeners already know.
Yeah.
Nice. You did your job.
I did my job. I told them about your event as well.
Thank you.
Before you got here.
Yes, you did.
And now you're telling them again.
Yes.
So for the both of you, what is like the end goal? Like, if I can make it to this point, I would feel like
I made
life
it.
is great.
Yes.
Satisfaction.
Success. Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
You can go first.
Okay. Such a gentleman.
He just doesn't know what to say.
He's like, I gotta think.
I would definitely say giving back. I know it always sounds like such a cliche, but when you look around and you really realize that you don't know what's going on in people's lives, like there's so many people that, especially the restaurant honestly taught me that, that sit down and they just want to drink and to talk, and they just want to get something off their chest. And sometimes it's too heavy. Like maybe it's bills and money that they don't have. You know, I want to be able to reach in my bank account and be like, you got this. You know what I mean? It's never about just you, because if you make it about just you, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to be happy. So it's just to make sure that everybody around me is taken care of.
I love that. That's so selfless of you.
Facts. I like that. Thank you. That's a great answer.
Tough
act to follow, Jen.
He said, ditto.
You should have gone first.
Nah, I'm 100% with being in a position to give back. Number one. But as far as like the end all be all goal, that just changes with time.
Yeah, you got to see how it all plays out.
I've seen people say they wanted this, and then 3 years go by, then they have a family, and then they want something else. You know what I'm saying? So
it does change.
Yeah, so you can't. But
that wasn't really an answer though.
I'm with both.
So how do you feel right now? What's the goal right now?
Right now, just to I don't know. Hopefully we can. I've been looking around Danbury for a spot so we can open up, but we're limited to what's available.
So can I ask you about that actually? So I work in Richfield, and like so many businesses are shutting down at the end of the year, and I'm like, yo, what is going on?
Taxes.
How is
Richfield's expensive.
That
expensive, right?
So do you feel like in Danbury, like how is it in terms of like renting or a place? Is it decent?
It's tough to say. I mean, I know food trucks, and I try to. I'm grateful for the connections I have in restaurants, other restaurant owners. You know what I'm saying? So I try to take advice, because again, it seems so simple just to, when you see a place that's busy and whatnot. But you also have to realize like there is still Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that you have to be busy as well, right? Because there's people in the building and you're paying those people.
Yep.
So just having a couple days of the week busy doesn't cover all the costs. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's tough. If you're having a restaurant, it has to be, you have to make the sales, and it has to translate in order for you to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with a food truck.
Yeah, which means you got to make it somewhere that people want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day.
And it sucks because people put a lot of money into, building their dreams. The restaurant is people's dreams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it sucks when people have to close down or whatever. But
so
absolutely.
yeah.
So are you open
That's
every
why I like
day
that show,
when
Bar
you-
Rescue.
Yeah.
When you have the truck
It's a fun
open,
show.
is it every
It's
day?
Tuesday through Sunday or Wednesday through Sunday. Monday is usually like the day where you just try to get some mental space. You have to do some paperwork, get permits and whatnot. So and organizing or little things like that.
How crazy is that process? Like the permit getting, license getting, and do any other food trucks? Like if you pull up like next to where some other guys do, is there any food truck beef?
There is, yeah.
It's my turf.
So
they're like, yo, this
You
is my
can't sell your
That
rice
is
and
so
beans on
funny.
my turf. Go over
It's
there.
silent beef
Is that
though.
real though?
It's silent
Is
beef.
it really?
It's not like, it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely a family. It's definitely a food truck family.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you also like, if you're selling rice and beans and somebody else pulls up to you and they're selling rice and beans,
Right.
it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not their fault. But you're like, man, the Arthur fist. You're upset about it,
Nah, I mean, we all respect each other because we all know how hard it is or whatever. But anybody wanting to open up a food truck, number one, don't even think about permits, whatever. Just think about your business, what you're going to sell, what it's going to look like, and, and if you're ready for the lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Because we're putting in sometimes 18-hour days back to back, you know what I'm saying? So it's a grind because it's a restaurant, setting up, breaking down,
the whole
cleaning, cooking, you know what I'm saying? So it's not an easy. Sometimes I even have people say, "Hey, damn man, you're lucky, dude. What you work 4 hours a day? You're crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
It takes
You
2
put in
hours.
hours, bro.
It takes 2 hours to cook beans. You know what I'm saying? So I'm up early before the sun comes up, and then come home at midnight. We're doing an all-day event or something.
Grinding
like
it
that.
out.
So
Wow.
It's not easy, but I mean, just for anybody in general, I think if same thing with Marjorie, if you have an idea, you have to paint it. You know what I'm saying? If you're an artist, it doesn't do any good for you to have all these ideas in your head. You have to put it on a canvas and then show people, and then you have to repeat that over and over again until you meet people along the way that can be a part of your team or whatever, help you out and get you to the next level. You know what I'm saying? But you can be the smartest person in the world, and if you haven't, you don't have a portfolio of your work, it holds no value. You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? So anything, whatever the most ridiculous. I tell my little brother that too. He's 13. I'm like, listen, man, do whatever you want to do because it'll make you money eventually. Whatever ridiculous idea you have, it doesn't matter.
That's great.
It's so funny because I met a beekeeper today. I was like, a beekeeper? What do you do? He's like, oh, I make, and he's like, I make honey and I make candles from the bee. I'm like, wow, really? That's a business. I was so surprised.
Probably
But you're right.
Too.
You can,
So
he was net profiting $70,000 a year.
Wow. That's crazy. I say, how expensive
Yankee candles are. I was like, I want to sell bees.
I love it.
It's not that easy.
I mean, I can make honey. I was like, do you need an assistant? I was out there
If
it makes money, I'm with it.
I'm good,
Rather be way.
But it's so funny that you said that because I thought of that guy today. I spoke to today, and I was like, a bee business? Okay, cool.
I think once you do one thing, then you're like, all right, I tell her that all the time. When you realize you can literally do whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? That's the best feeling. But then also it just puts a big weight. It's such a weight because then you're like, damn, I really could do whatever I want to do. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
It's all right. FCC, Marjorie got it.
I was gonna say that wasn't me. You heard that, right? It wasn't me.
So how was the transition going from an employee to a business owner?
It was tough. I think owning your own business is the toughest thing. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever had experience before? Or is this the first time?
No, it's the first thing. First time, and I'm grateful for it. I learned a lot. But it's I think the toughest part about it is that it never turns off. You know what I'm saying? Because you're constantly, you know, when you go to work, it's like, all right, you have your a workload and then it stops, and then you go home and then you could concentrate on other things. Or whereas you run a business, it's literally limitless. You can think of the craziest things and you can actually do it. You know what I'm saying? If it becomes
like you're not even Jasson. You're like you're rice and beans now.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's you know, and then you have so. But it's cool. I don't know. I enjoy it in the summertime. It's
I love
fun.
it.
That's dope. That's awesome. And for you, Marjorie, now that you know you've gone through the process of having that idea,
right?
You know, recording this show. So, what advice could you give to people who may have an idea kind of brewing as well, and just
you gotta believe it before anybody else does. You know, I feel like
yes, girl.
I feel like that was always my internal struggle. You know, is you. Do I really believe who I think I am? You know what I mean? Like, growing up, people would always be like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd be like, Oprah. You know, but like in the back of my mind, I was being serious.
Really
I'm serious. You know, I'm being serious. But
it's
then
a really
it's like,
empowering thing.
Absolutely. But then it's like, you know, there's no real blueprint for many things, you know, like, you know, if it's maybe a restaurant, you could follow some kind of step or some kind of format, but if you want to brand yourself, it's up to you.
Make
you
your own way.
You figure it out. You know, and nothing is too crazy or nothing is too stupid or nothing is too ridiculous or nothing is too extra.
Voila. You know it's real when you are who you think you are.
That's it. That's my advice, is just to believe it before anybody else does.
I love
Facto.
Love that.
One last question tonight. When is Glamour coming out with an album?
Yes.
Oh my
Can we
God.
get the Glamour EP? I'll produce a track for you.
Oh my God.
The Glamour EP, we need it.
That is so funny.
Everything. Let's
People who
go.
don't know who Glamour is,
Glamour
Marjorie,
on a
please
mic.
explain who Glamour is.
Glamour.
Hey.
She is fictitious, which is funny. So that started off in a friend's house too. Like, we were playing with the app Masquerade. And I'm like, oh, you try the voice. They sucked. Brenda, you sucked. Then we passed it off to another friend, and she sucked. So I'm like, am I the only one that's good at this? You know what I mean? It was almost like, now I got to keep doing it. You know? So
y'all think it's easy.
Yeah. So, and it's, you know, it's always a lot easier to be behind something else and like really just push that character. You know, because people see me out and they're like, oh, like spit a glamour bar, and I'm like, there's no mask here. Like, it doesn't work the same. You know, it's not the same thing. So glamour's
I love it.
She's my alter ego.
I like that.
So she is.
So I love that.
You know, everybody listens to their grandma. You know what I mean? That's what that is.
Them so much.
Yeah.
Since the first time I saw it, I literally like burst into laughter.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Hilarious. That was hilarious.
Every time, yo.
Yeah,
So
her
funny.
freestyles are tighter than mine.
Way better. Bars.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Shout outs to Glamour.
before we wrap up, I just got a couple things for you guys. Free bowls on me.
Hey! Yo, we were saying.
I love it. If it comes to guac, you can
Yeah,
come.
nah, it's whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And
Appreciate it.
Does it expire?
That has
No.
no
So I got
expiration
2 free bowls.
Yeah.
You gave me one last
Yeah,
time. I
oh,
forgot to use
damn.
it.
I need
Let's
that
go.
back.
He don't need this one.
They're not open
Let's
now
go.
anyways.
They do expire now.
I was gonna say,
and
if
also,
you lose it in May,
Give
it's
my free
over.
bowl.
And then also, I only have one sweater, guys, so it's a small, and you said you were small, so.
So winner.
Bam is the winner.
I am so excited. Thank you so much.
Can't make it honey, winning sweaters and stuff.
That's it.
I'm hybrid.
Don't get stung now.
I'm telling you, I'm
Don't get
hybrid.
stung, girl.
Don't
That's
forget
what's
about
up,
me.
man.
Top of the world
When you
right
see me
now.
on TV, you're going to remember this day.
Thank you,
Jasson.
bro.
Thank
You
you.
got a great thing going.
Thank you.
Stick to it. Honestly, just like you said, watching him is inspiring. I remember a couple years ago at the Stanziatos thing when you were outside there.
Yeah.
To see
Crazy.
this dude moving around, like, it was so busy, yo. He didn't look flustered. He's moving around. He's still being friendly. Every
Crazy.
time we see you out there, you're like making it an experience, yo. So just keep
Thanks,
offering
man.
that, and I'm telling you,
Thanks.
you're
It's great
gonna have
food.
success. And the food is freaking
Yeah,
great.
the food is amazing. The
So
guac
good.
is
I had
on
it 2
point.
months ago,
Oh my
Marjorie.
God, so
I
good.
called you. I was like,
Yo.
this is freaking bomb.
Yeah, it really
Like,
good.
why didn't you tell me about this?
Before you guys leave, give us your social media, websites, whatever you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Rice and Beans CT, like Connecticut, so at Rice and Beans CT, all spelled out. .com, Facebook. At Rice and Beans CT.
Rice and Beans CT.
Yeah.
Consistent. I like it.
Just Instagram because my Facebook needs a little pick me up.
Needs a little TLC.
Yeah, so just at Margie Maxie MarjYyMaxii. Extra, right?
And what's your YouTube so people can subscribe to watch your shows?
It's gonna be the same. YouTube www.youtube.com/MarjorieMaxie.
Okay. Gotcha.
Or you could just type in the Marjorie Show.
All right.
Yes.
Because if somebody else comes up, that's crazy.
Once again, it's the We Break Silence Show. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
So much fun chatting with you guys.
E. Charles, Pamela Osorio, Cash Walker, and Vanya. Make sure to check us out on all social media platforms at New Villa Radio. Twitter's We Break Silence _ Subscribe to our YouTube channel, New Villa Radio. And y'all got any final announcements? Marjorie Show Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yes.
Hold on, I don't want to tell the whole world.
No, tell the whole world. We got 10 physical seats left, but if y'all trying to stand and party
how do you sign up for it?
they could just slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs. What's the IG again?
It's at Margie MarJyY Maxie MAXii.
You heard her. You heard her, people.
Yes.
You'll see it. It'll be on the screen.
You
Free
heard
food,
her.
free
Come
drinks.
see me. If
Free
you haven't got
rice and
sick of me yet,
Right.
I'm on the show. I'm
He's
on
on
this
the
program. And I'm looking forward
He
to
was like
seeing
the most
myself.
talkative one, I'm sure.
Oh, they were taking turns. Girl.
Oh, okay,
They
okay.
definitely were.
I haven't met anyone that
A
top
lot
cash.
of people had a lot of things to say. It wasn't
Yeah.
just me. Trust me. It wasn't just me.
It should be a good
awesome.
time. So
At Cash Walking, followers rising. We need you. Get at me.
And I'm Pamela Rosario. Follow me.
And
You got,
Pam,
man. Stop being greedy.
Shut
yo.
up. I don't have that many.
make that final announcement for Janelle Pinnell.
Oh
please.
yes, Janelle, his toy drive for the,
Yes.
going to the kids to the Connecticut Children's Hospital tomorrow from 10 to 4 at Danbury Powell Building. That's right across the street from the Candlewood Lake in Danbury. Or you can drop them off as well at Pippa's, and when you drop off a toy, you will get a free drink voucher, so you could stay, have a drink at the Ugly Sweater Party tomorrow night. Again, it's at Pippa's. That's on South Street. I forget the address, but you can go to Janelle's Instagram and check that out as well. Or on mine, I have it up there too.
What's Janelle's handle?
It's I think it's at Janelle Pinnell.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it is.
Okay.
And if
So-
you donate a toy, Rice and Beans donate a shirt and some stuff also.
Boom!
Nice.
Enter in
With
that raffle.
everywhere, yo. Look at it. Get in that raffle. Rice and Beans out here. You're never gonna escape.
Make sure to get some rice and beans in the springtime.
Definitely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Can't wait
sure.
till that gets back
It's
out.
worth it. Trust me.
For sure.
All right. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week.
Peace out. Bless.
Later.
This is New Villa Entertainment.